Say welcome to Majita Monday.
extra light, Mara di makeup artist. Let's set the face, you know.
Diavo.
Lena.
Ne?
Thoma ba thoma bi.
Exe di tabo. Majita Monday ke show ela ya rene deseri ra ga mkhorjaka wa vostala tsorba utiaga is always Sdomane teng Mpho buile angre lights Mpho ke ngena phuma Mpho buile maelu teng Lennox teng gore tmaro ka no te introduce ka Majita Monday relax sa wara re monata
awe Majita nagina tfilani
sobra
tswana ke malachi ke neighbor ya Lennox
ke neighbor Lennox bar buritse right no
ere Lennox a sharp ke go lobotsa salido
angare ke betsitse ka pere wrong mo
a sharp a pele poi ke a wampitsa ku bone just buffet
o a honoru a ka se bone o ha tlhoke
ene bolela ngor le nna Silver Lakes the Heights bolela
re fitlhene mo
artlwele nga se
Moloko nna ke shapo marama o unyaka ka motlase a re o bona mic ka motlase o bona ka motlase no
ka mokai
a re ka motlase
Sdomane maina mela maifolo
fetsa mo
betha mtailo ai
o tsia zaga
o ka svuwe somtaila o betha ke man le mama o betha ke bari dintsha tšhomi
ke nana re ho shapo tšhomi go byangwe
hey ke ancenga ke chaile mara mkhwaka ke shota ka 999,000
o re tshware mmita
gore ke tshware mmisi
Sfuba ya ka ne ke na le yena mabane
mara ke a lwela
Sfuba ne ke na le yena mabane o hodile 250,000 aha no mfa tsebe ya 3,000
mara
ai khona
ke botse setšhaba
o funa nkipi ipirisethu ilapo arena metsa ye makuleng
a ska namela ke manda esa le vru
o ska thoma e se ke motho metse so
o tsankana lingas
wa tsogela baba dale da re ile dile weso ne ene teo bathomo o hlopile nna ka botsa ka re tsa brafat bay hlopba o be Majita o ka se jetse ba bedi braya ka bjang
so pila di wana bola o jile 2.5 tšhomi ya
au
o sa
250 rand
o boletse ka 1000 ana wa ipi o mo correct tšhomi ya ka nne aircom
250 rand
ke re wena nna se
ebile tšhelete teng ke tshetse petrol o tla bereko
a itshwenye se salang go tshwara loops aircom mo
250 ha free ya ka tseba bokae
adajo ya something akere wa bitse jo gocha Nano nyaka something baje Sfuba ke idlebe lapho no udlebe edilini yokuqala
kuno sonzo je 150 move clip
awu yena o lebetse diliela ya bathomo ya jilentsebe go yona mahala spoon free ke sa ira seno
maybe o nahana gore ka ro tsebe ke tse itu
ene yena shem kwa fe game ke brua go mphone tsa re Sfuba go hlombe boka ka ra wa ka mfana e jamola akere nna I play the long game so long game habit asa itlaloanya o le tsuruchile
akolonsa diphiri continue le show
o tiri bukani
angimnandi
ja uwaqala ukhipa iphiri zamda
asiphume lapho ke
ushapha bukana
angimnandi
tala bangakuboni la ekhaya tala basibuza ngawo bathi baruhamba fruphi khaya
ngifuna ukusata yo
ne
accident, Tulas Clare,
Eish, Joe.
3 days coma.
Eish.
Amarang mnandi, no?
So grand.
Yeah.
The devil is a liar.
yonke into iyasebenza kahle yonke into isebenza kahle
Yonke into isebenza
no, man.
mnandi.
Yeah.
Proper.
Recovery.
Nasilandan uyaya.
Angsisho.
I should taste
First day ngivuka ku recovery after 3 days ne.
Yeah.
Ngingasafuna ukuphakama.
Unamanga wena.
Ngathuka. Yo. Ngathi ar test baby.
Yeah.
Yavuka ngathi.
Uvukile ubalambala. El Gribo Grimanti.
ah nigga
AKA Leshela Odimo Moto. AKA Cotton Odimo Ramoto.
On the boat.
AKA the Italian Mamelodian. Let's watch lena. Let's extra lena. Let's watch. With Majo, home introducer, it's a full paragraph.
yeah when
Oh, let's watch lena. Joe.
Rapela Lennox le go.
Yeah, but that's your rapelo. Tobile ka bohao.
warapela motho mo
O tobile ka bohao. Ha wa rapella ra batsatia. Di
Ke
tsabu.
reng ke betha ke pain e nngwe bana eish e re tlo tsamaya Lennox mo lefatsheng
Ke batho ba ba ruang ba o tshwere ka pelo.
ba
Balapile. Last kana na ruang. Reminded na sa ruwe di shoti.
ne ke bolela ka bala
Wa di tjhaba.
ke tshaba ka pelo ga e utlwe yo
Di tsajo.
bala ba go renkeng ba go renkeng me bra ke a tsena mola a claps taman a ke tshepe you like how he looks a ke tshepe ra ka ba bone video ya ka nna ke bolela
What do you mean?
ora Sdomane hana
What do you mean?
hana TikTok hana YouTube hana
I thought so
Facebook hana
As
I
for
thought
social
so.
media.
I thought so.
azange a like azange a subscribe
I thought so can't think na hanne nnete ba mmontshitse ba ba o ke morning ang kwatetse ke a mmona gore o a no ra ka beana le social media ke tshwantse ke namele mola ke re ke nna ola ke a phapa ke re ko bethela ko feta ko mmerekong wa leng ke nyakana le USB nyana tse pedi a o mbutsise ra matlhalola a re nguyele o bolela pololela ya a re nguyelo ke re a re nguyelo msana ke re msana a re nguwe ke re ngenzela a re ngena lapha ngifuna yabona wena ke re wenza a re uthe renkeni kwenzakalani uthi ke renkeni kwenzakalani ke re tla o lebelle mmetse o busy ka nna mmetse o no tshwantse o thintile o botsa nna ga renke gift le ba botseng ko renkeng ba nnele dilo tsa nnete a shule o busy yena brua o busy ka magwenya mo a ntsa change gear fela tlhafula le gwenya bola re wena msana ke re ha a long trip to main lane
ya betele
ya betele a re wena msana ngifuna ukukhomba maski hona ntho e irileng wa ngitse ke tshosa bjang no eme mola
O mzwabuletse jo.
go zwa botse ke no lebeletse bjang
Go tsosa mang wena?
nna nna ke a tshosa nna ntebele bila
Wa ya ka wena.
Sdomane nga tsana ka mo bankeng ka ema bjana ga re tu
Bo fa.
Fazana.
sazana
hawa ba bitsa ma security eng ke re why but hi man you look intimidating kadlala but South Africa I love you ne
Lady di tsajo. Ka wa za ka le brua.
ke a re mo first nna kwa hae
Wait.
o tla ba sharp
Di tsavela cha.
sharp brua ka wena
Monate.
le ke re batho ba ska lebala go like and subscribe merchandise lona o tswile bafethu and then ka di 24 hape re na le culture spotlight da go social movie hotel
Ale.
re ske ra lebala bafethu
Le Pirates re jelo. Wa bona nna re tsa Arna flop.
ne le tsane le yona Pirates
Re jelo, una flop.
kana wena wela ke fenye
Understand? Re jelo Pirates. Sa ikira ga ra o itse man.
Mara na teng ka tlangoro Wednesday re na le bona.
What I now get it, follow videos.
O ka se follow ka ro wa je.
I get a nane little bit or a go MTN.
But we
That's why I
not
say follow we. Ne go dlala MTN 8. He go dlala di chomi Pirates and Sundowns a re tse.
Le ga wina 3 le tsosi na be wile back to reset. Back to settings.
Nna ka bolela so chomi nna ne go botsa re tse re lose.
I want now to get another MTN 8 a re di tsena ke re nna re go MTN 9.
Yeah.
A re na flop o kile re acceptile. So as we believe. Se alona tse di etsang ke le nata.
Ne.
Mara Sfuba Kadoso or Koala Blay.
Sfuba go le tsa ba Kadoso go bela re fete. Regile. Bratuls Oshapo Hotman. Asa wara
Gishapo brag wa wana go thuzu go mame.
Ya ka Majita ka ba so.
Ke na le 4 years kusabula lisa le di man. Ene re bo maki. Ka taba bolo. It's what that.
Oh ay. Rena I say that personal. Lo I to.
Thomelo go disana last week.
Ay wa I to.
Unya mo isinya vivi.
Ay.
Abulele pila Bratula.
Rena
o Silver Lakes.
Yeah.
Ay wena man.
Wena vele sele.
Mutabo hakesi.
Gentlemen, I want us to talk about a common problem. Mara re round off re se go Majita. Fela ne?
Ya le ka go Majita ngwa itse mara tlo no bua.
Yeah, ne?
Because ke tabere.
Okay. Sure. I don't think most men talk about what they go through when they divorce. Bonsoir. We ma biags to man. Yeah. I don't think a lot of men talk about that. Like if I'm not mistaken, we divorce and we move. You understand? And it's not something you lunguruka ibolela patlalatsa ko Majita. Understand? Because I don't think there's anyone that wants to get married to divorce. Why wanna that thing? Ho sala unyala ile hore o bona o ga re dilo di tlhakane bjano. One last puzzle a shi ho na le future ke ha motse bjano. Then one way or the other something happens. No tshwantse le phatlalle bjano. And I'll be fair if I'm saying in most cases men lose a lot of things, ne? I'll be fair by saying that.
100%.
Yeah. In most cases, I've heard of cases where there's women who are still paying maintenance to men and what. I think it was one case. One, yes, I'll go. But most of the time, Majita by Rafelura. And Majita Mabaya, Balagauri, Sfuba happy mo. I'll call it the other party. The other party didn't come with anything. Now they are living with 50%. I don't know that I think it's going to affect the price. You understand? So now, are we going to talk strictly divorce and the pain of it and the loss of it? Or are we talking relationship in general? Let's decide now.
I think we should push relationship in general and what leads to divorce, maybe.
Okay.
So that we can cover almost everything. Because if it might limit us for push a divorce.
Straight divorce.
Yeah. So let's push relationship wise. Also, what led to the divorce?
Okay.
You understand? That might work for us.
Why is that Tommy guy? The divorce led to infidelity. Cheating. Yeah. Okay. The divorce is because of cheating. Let's not say from one side. Let's say from both sides. Ojoti sister au park. Ajola lo ena wa mo park. What decide ora na busy I sata makam khona ka tsamaya. Karuyano ni sister va mukukuna kata. And then sister maybe we ra revenge ya hore o kreile nna ke kukuna mata. Wa ibona? Yena lata Joseph. And Joseph o ka rontsha ntho tshao. Or then they get fire. Understand? Then Latin Lutwan or Maname Arno Kawana. Well, Nasirar Kawana Rutwana because it was divorces are messy talk. Like I don't think divorce is one thing I wanna go through. Like a divorce is messy. Bonsoir. How what is the trauma behind that? I think that's the reason why we brought Tools, ne? Because I've never been divorced.
Yeah, no, maybe.
I've only been married.
Because on experience.
Nah, I've never been married. Now I've never been married. I want to get the experiences and all those stuff. Na negira barging into Faten set Kalbabeta Khan.
Yeah.
After Faten set Abasa set Abahan. Bazama, Mufaten City.
So ke gaan fela.
Ja, ba nonge Khan, I sala set ke Khan. And you go on Faten set a Joe.
So when I faten set our batse 50%. Can the molao no? Honganale moto more than 5 months. How many months? 3 months. 3 months.
3 months or
We're entitled to half of your things.
3 months.
Yeah?
I said 3 months.
Itamba mlaula saira gara last game. Lirke buka 3. Yeah?
Somewhere
Wana me
there.
Google mo batho ba o gara ba ka
Somewhere there. Bazaya lezon.
ba o kantsetsa o sale teng. You see now we confused.
Most of us don't qualify on this subject. Maran negana lo grot man le lengwe mabane ne. So nanal the financial problems.
Okay.
Agizor niling the financial problems. O tla le plane o approach msadi hore. Let's fake a divorce. Honga divorce am o gra 500,000. No gra 500,000.
Ma di sister
Yeah, di sister ene ho solva mathata otlhe
a dikoloto.
a dikoloto. Taikendaro nya kun divorce. That's the only focus momsadi. Wabo? Ahana di sister. After about 6 months, I approach a V arajo roho abima. Ar fake divorce. Ahana la bobedi. La bitri. Di sister ro approach a diamond. Ar idea langare etla
Ikarberge. Okay, but what changed her mind?
I don't know. But listen to the story. You'll find out what will change your mind. Are serious? Let's do this thing. Apaka di bege di sister aya hai ngare hai neli Limpopo Rustenburg, one of the two. I'm not sure. But divorce. Ne? Shapo ya tsena daizaga 500,000 pa kamara bank account. Afo una dai sister. You'll think we're half now nor armonate no baby. Zageletse. Damanari ne shabu. Bua haero kono discuss hore le business ela ne re planning, huiraling, whatever the case may be. Dai sister harabar nagsa bua.
My
I'm not coming back.
ke tsatsile ba ka bona kwabo bya.
Majita na aggressive.
Kwabo tsatsile. Okay.
Chumara 500,000 ke sakenyane. Damen unyetse bo ma 17 years. Askangkwatela. Joke bolela story sa ka chino. Askangkwatela. Ne 17 years is a very long time to
Very
walk away
long.
with 500,000.
It raises a teenager.
Yeah. Wabo. So damane like emoshokile daideng aizora ire. No. Luckily they can at least umu feel 50,000.
Yeah?
Umu feel 50,000.
10% of the money. Planet ile kana. Unjisa tsebe.
Dia wa
Ungira
molofasi.
style o nyoko bona ane te.
Ko lefatsheng la divorce. Ho phela o ina mosadi. Not that's what I say. Le 50 cents, some of them walk away with everything because the man is generous enough to think for the kids. Hore okay, say everything. Lindlo ngano itse ya na ke tla boela hae. It's fine.
Yeah, well, Bratuls, irku for chance, but I'll come back to your point.
Yeah, I tend to differ just a bit. Relating your story, I understand, but sadly they can be so
Cruel.
Yeah, that's a proper word. But there's a difference between divorce and separation go court.
Okay.
Ne? We go to court, we apply the usually attorney's arena, recreate order, divorce order, divorce it. That's not a divorce. It's the first part of application for a divorce.
Okay.
I'll go deeper. I might have a divorce degree,
Go deeper, papa.
but I'm not divorced. Remember when you get married, we are Africans. You relate to me. Siyalobola,
Yes.
siyakokota, siyalobole, sihlabise.
Yes.
Ukuhlaba is both sides.
Danko.
Ne? That means we are getting married now spiritually.
Right.
And when you get married spiritually, nas divorce and your commissioner in 20 degree, what am I doing? Or in your court in 20 degree of divorce, what am I doing? I'm separated. I'm not divorced. That is why most women, even today, they are separated, but they are struggling in their so-called new marriages. Because they are still married kamalaj.
Ancestrally.
And that's exactly my point. So now they have to go to Gankosi, they get married there, but they are not married there. Spiritually, they are still tied.
To Gamalaj.
Kamalaj. So that's why when our fathers, they do it wrong. Remember us men, we don't divorce spiritually. And I'll explain why. Culturally, men can take more than one wife. Ngahlaba more than 10 times, marrying 10 women. Those are my wives. That's our culture. But now, when my wife leaves me and get married to another man, that marriage is not blessed due to the fact that she's still tied to me.
Nyaguzo, it makes sense now. But I need to understand, Uguti. If you, let's say it's a mutual decision, Uguti. We want to detach from one another. Now we are mkhulula. Ugutaka hambege ayoshata kankosi. How do we now do this culturally?
Okay. Akuthi sihlabile.
Yeah.
Kumele sihlabe futhi.
Awuwaban.
Yeah, that's the truth, my brother. There's no other way around it. Kumele sihlabe futhi. Now we are informing the ancestors that the tide, the bond that we've created, is dissolved. Say dissolve. So that my ancestors don't have a claim over you.
No problem if it like il est divorce time. I was on a peregisana. But not taking away stress and go sistering. You know, please find it in your heart to forgive yourselves first for all the mistakes maybe that you think you've done. Because the minute you go to the next relationship, you'll make the next guy suffer for what the last guy did to you. So I'd encourage you guys to, before you go to the next person, make sure you healed Oshabu first. Because if you go pili, only the burden then ahuna progress.
Problem is it like
Khale athomile. Ka yena, awuna next guy.
khale a thomile
Maeli man.
I know mo tlwele go bolela
Mapedi,
nnete ai a
Ai,
tlwela mpua
Mapedi,
no
Maeli.
no o bolela nnete no
Mapedi,
a ba botse tšhomo
Maeli.
ka tšeno dume ai Lennox
Maeli,
it's a
oh.
fact
Ah.
ye e bolele maele we fit
a so thome Lennox o thomile lebaka la gore a re yena o nyako tswelela pele ke gore setse a tlela gear 3
The new guy.
yeah. The new guy and sometimes sena lo ba beta go na le story se sengwe bana a itse a jo to beta ka batho a itse ka ditori tse bon di man o kry-a di usoro wa jolo right ha mo kry-a wa jolo o bona ke bana ba gae gore motho o ira so wa ya ba irang ba informa papa he mo ba jola ba a re mon le malo mamang o mongwe ba yana a re mo kusise and wa itse hantši Sfuba bona dimense ba reng ba tswella pele ka bona mosadi o batlala dimpa he setse ba re kwa hayana noši le tlhokometse daeteng ha thoma banong ba re ya ke kwa hao banong a re nna ke tswile ka mola ke tsamaile ha Lennox ha e foko nna le wena ai o nna banong thomo tlhagatlaga a ba re kwa hao ke bothata ba wa shi
wena
Mara Maeli, a ke re utlwile ba re wena no re sukiri monate o e utswa.
mara e re ba o fe yona ba re amfane mo tshukiring mo kwena o tla bona gore this thing is actually not nice watsware mara ho e kuba stwebo ke bodese mara e re ba o fe yona 2 kg ba re mfana mo kwena le spoon le tsukiri e kume bjanong free and fair hona problem.
Yeah,
And,
Abe it's easy to carry like 10% than to carry 90%.
That's true.
The husband carries 90%. What's where to maintain now there's roof over your head, there's food, but another school fees, it's everything is fine. Eh? And come when you go to the housewives of Mamelodi. Oh, this is on say hi, you are not working, you are not doing anything. Ne? And then a bride's coming, season 1 is coming soon. Marabale batsamaya ka di Uber, batsamaya ka di wantshwara.
Batsamaya ka di poroporo ka di golf.
Ka di golf, ka di poroporo. Yeah, but on a serious note, it's very easy for now if I'm cheating with Lennox's wife or somebody else's wife. Ya patelang everything. Na ke motlisa fela ko di pleng tse monate ke mo rekela dilo tse le that guy has no time to buy and then msadi lo bona heaven monna. But in a true sense of the word, I live in na face to face. Yes, sis. I bona ka chaba nna. Ngasluki.
But guys, do we ever have women that say, okay, I'll speak from my experience. Now I've never seen them. I've only heard of one from a friend that said she came back and she said this. Do we ever have a woman that would say and willingly admit to Ejo, my marriage went down to shit because of my actions? Have you guys ever heard of such? I've only heard it from one.
Have you ever heard of a woman who likes taking accountability? That's the thing.
After statement they say
Mara kajun kinyo go emela basadi for the first time on the show ke phela ke ba emela just that ke ba emela ka mpilo le Majita wa itse jo go ba wrong wa itse go ba wrong go difficult for batho bo boke gore a nna ke wrong a se mang le mang a kgone itse yang daiteng ya gore ke wrong a se mang le mang not necessarily for basadi batho in general bana le daiteng ya gore ke wrong hawa Lennox wa gafa Lennox wa gafa ke mang o mo wrong ke ena if yawo le ko Majiteng tšora re wa Majita bano bolayana ba ire is because Majita le bona bana le daiteng ya gore a ke wrong o wanyela o wrong wanyela ha tle mpa it's like that when it comes to le basadi ba tswang ko manyalong vele basadi bona is in their nature la bolela nnete accountability hanga ba rata o etsea but ke basadi ba nno nako tsela nna ke phela before ke phela nno ne ke itse gore basadi ba phela sharp
Come on, pizza guy.
before ke phela no apa nna se le ga ba badimo ke a itse gore ke bo manne ba mphatlhelang a ke tshwanele le
Okay, but Lenny ke a utlwa ne. Majita rena we are very quick on accountability. I'll tell you how. Nar di flopo jo nara kitso re betha di la wa mfostana braya ka nar shoka story sa rena. Wa mfostana. Let us tell when ka bua jo ka raba fetu lisa us chaile lo ra Sfuba kwena wena o le rata ibile ra witsi o ya di bakadi wa mfostana so bo kwena ba o do ro disaster wa mfostana. And right here raju ke mo flopetse. I've heard a story of a guy that actually said in front of us, this Esther one divorce, I want it to be peaceful. She must just say what she wants. Kemufe, afai, kemuflopate. You understand? I've never seen a woman that would say that. And I just feel I should walk away and leave everything else because floppy.
Now one thing that I understand in a core basadi wa tlhala 2 to 3 years anale wena ka montlu.
Yeah, it's psychological.
Wa utlwela msadi a tswa detach from you for 2 years. A tswe pilas hanyane. Daimana a le go trongung la ba re ya re khere story re monyaka. Are when the woman is fed up,
there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. Wa bona gore sometimes re na Majita Harry Flopper, we are climbing Mount Everest. Hona di peaks. Ra stop, re tswele pele, re flopper. In the meantime, yena what detach. Hanyane what detach from you. And hali sharp, hats on my win. Ramakala.
Wena bona ga re ke ntho e tsagalang
no. And go thoma re blame maybe anong, ra blame.
Yeah, ena le build up.
And yena msadi I got acknowledge you're wrong, because of yena. Not tolerate nonsense out for years and years and years until years I did mates. Query example, my brother. Kitana guntunga 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Ne? Muto aroba alao. I see psychologically and emotional abuse. Because she worries about your safety, who you are not at home. When unzi humanati rajakala, it's fine. Humanati. Ne? Yena. Ana peace of mind. Is my husband safe? Ofiklaning. Why do you say robalaning? Outlo koloi garachi bula rotsena then katla libat are. That's when she sleeps. Or sometimes she pretends that she's sleeping. Ne? Kiona abuse creating and causing divorce. I get we are here about divorce. Let's talk about the basics of divorce. Divorce. And once I feel no good. Ne, I can't take this anymore. How about the nagata mai? I got so clearly fail. Only this way that I very kisang, but king, sort of like you come back or whatever.
Come.
Not come. I want to live but king, I kids what. Who heta back, you know. Oh, heat. I got so clearly fail. Yeah, sort of revenge. Sort of revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, heat, you and now heater.
But Joe Tooks, how do we then as Majita go about fixing this thing? Because basadi ba ke show a gona Majita o ga reng go nyala motho ena ke morate wa ntlalwanya o tlebo ile through a process of no man ke motho ke feeling gore I can build with. How do we get to a stage mo ile gore mosadi wa ma abuser emotionally wa ma abuser ba bang financially even physically so wa ntlalwanya. Because musadi how do we ke mo etsa musadi ke show ke motho te borong wa morata unless if the mo relationship in ya transactional
ya transactional
oh wena go ahead
yo somebody out there arranged marriage, it's arranged that we marry,
yeah,
so it's an arrangement, we follow the arrangement.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay, but what are the stipulations of that arrangement?
The stipulation is that we learn through the relationship, we learn to love each other through the relationship. Because sometimes, there's something that happens in this world. Like you look at somebody, you look at how they look and how their body is. That's just your little fantasy. And then you think taking your little fantasy to the aisle is going to do you good for a lifetime.
abe ku lebelletse attentively ka tjeno ka ke ya lena go wena ka tjeno
For real, dog.
Or is it Sfuba? I'm afraid we use words like abuse.
Botsa nna o sa botsa Sfuba.
Uko?
Anje.
emanyada wena
We use words like abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, freely so, and dangerously slow. Because the minute, I'm saying this because we are a generation that taps out very quickly. The minute things do not go your way, but this is life, not everything is going to go your way. We need to bear in mind. So the minute we to Sdomane is like a podcast. It's ning tons of you go, Max. It's ning tons of you go. It becomes an issue. Or is it you? The man who she is abusing me emotionally. You understand? Comes me, I say, "Who is it you?" Na amuntu kina luwa ke graba sapi ya. Sning kina no ke sonze ke merko ke meeting. Hempa ya ainiwa. We do not consider that as abuse also. Because I'm also not happy. I cannot not help you with my doing stuff with you.
yeah but
then
wait.
something it 2 million that things do man.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen overnight.
And another thing is maybe you are confusing abuse with worry. Eriko
My point was that. My point was that. Hurry. That's why we're using abuse. Willy-nilly so. And abuse is a very dangerous way.
Let me tell you a story. In the middle of the week, I lost a friend, and that friend he stepped on the wrong foot, but somehow and he died. Ramoloka tisati. We start speaking about this Lily Sakamuntu, ne? Sometimes it's not abuse, it's worry. Why every time we put in whether accept sugu or accept mini, saying ya wara manje. Maramanga text our thing, sending FIFA. For me you are safe. I don't know how we're supposed to do this, but I'm just letting you know that now Maupuma and people are not involved in the the world is just not safe. Understand? Armanje yabona masupuma vele ngiyawara. Ungaphuma utulanda abantwana esikolweni, I'm still gonna worry. Cause ke bona gore ke tare ke bua spanning ba rawa tamanjo. Ho ka jika ka mo karashile ba bethile ka rifle. And nna ke dabra ka why it nna ke tirela podcast tsa ga le dilo tsa ga ke tshwenye motho. Understand? Mara because people that are somewhat close to me and it's people that we are used to. I mean, I'll tell you joke na braga nel mutho lungu regional di order tsa diaparo tsa go Rustenburg na feta di cover because unal company da lisalela na mutho a itse bya watswa o mo fa dikipa o tla di fata brafan on course why what now he's gone. You understand? So maybe lena o warisa king difrufan me hore bona ba ba le mo khaufa kama ba minus oh yena wa ibona ne
Maena say name.
So now my point was, what the very same word that she has, she might end up calling it abuse. For nas who abuse emotional. Because whenever I go start thinking niggas hip, na pila niggas sanya ga strategy.
e marngwana menga senngam jarateng roja jarata.
Hence I'm saying, do we use this thing? You must get my point.
Or
we use these words.
No, I hear where you
and very dangerous words.
Yeah.
Willy-nilly. You understand? We loosely use them. Everything, almost everything, it's either let's say we are nonsense. They either call you a misogynist or
misogynist, narcissistic, narcissistic. Yo, na manzwa thing.
A slooper. We look so slooper like I.
So when I can talk about at times we are afraid to act on certain things because we're gonna be called names. You understand?
Now I get you, Chom. I think people confuse certain words as well. Let's kuasa twenya. What's what? Because motho ho ka rona ba no. Tlalosetse ka Sepedi sa reno gore emotional abuse ke re ka ema totla bela re hu. So sometimes let's kuasa.
Baro unteka maikutlo.
So let's quote Satwanya because it puts us in categories where people don't even understand. That's why na wabona na kubudite a concept ya worry. Akawubuta a concept ya emotional abuse. Lenna hege jaiva go ke jaiva go think lebella na go ke is die through akasrobale ka rena ke ke trilong tsaka ke le ratha in agent ring ke chaise. You understand? You need to have that conscious as a man. You understand?
It goes. I wanted to do this thing, a 50-50 thing. You know, like a typical example. I want to read hijacking some relegation and word. Be rifing and I know.
So the hijacking leader to divorce. Just asking.
Thai chairman.
Genie, yeah.
Wait until Lusurunya.
So, can I ask you a question, gents? Most of you are married. And I'm talking generally. What are you going to say when your wife comes to you, Armoena, I can't be in this marriage anymore because I'm doing this alone. Your presence, Mame, your presence is not here. Ne? Remember, a marriage is built by two people. So you need to show up in your marriage as well.
Yeah.
Ne? But most men, they don't show up in a sense that they are providing. But you are not showing up in your marriage entirely. Ne? Money doesn't build a marriage. You also need, remember it's a full package. You need to provide financially, emotionally, and other things that I can't mention on the show.
This is Majita Monday.
Don't be
Here you go, man.
But now the question stands. Ne? What would you say? How are you going to react or how are you going to respond to your wife regarding that question?
Mara, man, let me try and make it simple, this thing. Ne? Pella, as my wife, you need to be understanding. It's either you have a man who's available 24/7 and
broke.
You understand? Or you have a man who's available every now and then and you've got everything that you want. Because I can't do both. I can't be broken into two pieces. It's either I'm home every day, you come back, love your corner. Asa so die. So what is that?
Lele na banna lerato te kemella man.
Ari Kemel.
Lerato te kemella.
Ari Kemel. Why is it my end board? Ne? I'll show you how this thing works. You can't expect your wife. Let's say your wife over 9 to 5 or 6 to 6 kidneys. Over 6 to 6 kidneys girl police, firefighter, whatever.
Babulayana ba.
Sorry.
You can't expect or how American 6 to 6. When I haslara over Tansakam ko Tansangati. 90%, let's say past 3, 4 o'clock, we are home. America 6 to 6. I don't understand the horror. At least to so bills. So there are certain things you must be willing to do. Has no one to step on homework or I need a uniform or Shubana. At least the pizza most of all. How I feel.
Anna Gidira willingly brag. I will like Kamunat.
And so there's that. Because Lisa Chaisega 7, when only they more. It
gives you, it goes back to you understand how over 6. And then she's also helping to pay the bills in the house. Okay?
But
So now, if your wife cannot understand her, you're not 90% of the time. And then when and then she comes back and makes that an issue. That's a serious problem.
Ah, tla ka le botse Majita. Matsatsi a Majita la tepa. Le na le matepenyana mangwe ke a utlwisisi Majita matsatsi. Gore le tepisa ke eng? Wa le tshwantse le tepe. Le tlisa dipolotiki. Ke dipolotiki go lenyalong dilo tseo. Ke dipolotiki o tshwantsa pila wa tshwanno bala gore mang wirang.
You are missing the point.
I get 6 to 6. Yeah, DOs. It's straight and simple. I get Joe who work 6 to 6. We're not in go strateng wa hasela. Unless you will hold. Ke mo ilong gore o bereka boshiu. Bokgoni o bereka boshiu. Ho hasela if ever o go ditendeng o go site o go kae wena bile di camera di gas o di bona bang go le fifing o
go le tshwelele sa mo mixetso.
So na o mollo mongwe na go wa ira for selo sa serata
ke nnete bro.
And o mollo mongwe selo se leng gore wa se tlhokomela o sirela nako ya sona. And I need to have a competition in the motor or as a tlhokomela. Regardless how you your wife, you can't be in competition with your wife or your wife. And I'm not married by the way, but I'm telling you, for Ogasi be more competition in the Mosadia, how can I call your family and lane? Wabana the minute was now we Eloena, Okono te Nahalang Hore, na why is it Nago Elagi spending in Gebeki Locon, Nagoma A, which Nagato for a ham, which Nagateseva, Okanala 7 hours a wood to live it.
I think you're a Messana sound.
Hanyan, but let me iron it out. Maeli. I'll start by answering Kortman. I always say there's no man that would want to get married with the intention of divorcing. So every time you get to a point where a woman would say, I'm leaving, it shatters you. You feel like the walls are closing in because one, you feel like I would feel like I failed the family that I've built. One. My success and happiness comes from what I've built. Well, this is. That's why now when my wife asks me, what makes you happy? You understand?
Yeah.
Arya, but that doesn't work. You need your own happiness. I don't know it because my happiness comes from you guys. When I see my kids happy and we're not happy, happy.
How you
go? One day nka re ke thabile thata ga re go reka sneaker ga re na ke rata di sneaker ka re ke thekele sneaker se swete ka ba happy one tshwara Grootman or ke ya kae. Coming back to my Ellie's point, dynamics tsa ga mjarateng di bereka ka teamwork braka a di bereke ka gore mang ke clever mang ke snai mang tshwantsa ireng tsamaiso wa yitse one tshwara na khono kapalisa ka 10 to 6 ke bue ke kape bana sekolong ka 7 ke bua ga montlong ke bue washing ke tswe ke dealing. You understand? Re re ane deng le masego re fe 5,000 ke bue high. You understand? Manya. And o hopola re mo re ma dai 5 patla tshwantse ke reke shebo tshwantse ke reke mabone tshwantse ke felisa ya ona mela. You understand? All of those things I achieved them because ke na le structure saka. You understand? If you're looking at it, it's highly impossible for u khono ira dilo tsa ka mjarateng o bo braga me froga mara retail ai pereke bya. You understand? O tsena ga 9 o chaisa ga 5 go main lane re nna kwa by the time of go nna is 8:30 o lapile mthola ona ntwa ga irang etese ha ga la tlhasaite bila le mosofeng wa kitla so nna ke re apea wa bona re tsengwe tse joke o sna perekisa
as much as
you understand?
Men don't marry like with the intent to divorce. Unga agree or basadi bona they marry with that intent.
Yeah, well, women have a contingency plan. If
Yeah.
this happens, then I need to do this. That's why you find that within a marriage, the most people that have got a secret bank account, it's women. It's the ultimate truth because yeah, now uhlala ne contingency plan. Yeah, here got divorce and nak 45,000 one year la ukitswa so. You understand? When now na dai dengo detela zago. because when o lebelletse gore o wa halapa
And
Wa
when
ntshwara braai.
45,000
mara gore a etse account eo ya botho tlebe go na le ane deng a e boneng gore mo ko ba le flopo ko mojiteng o
hence ke ntho e re boelelang ko yona ko maeli gore
mosadi gore a etse ntho e blind ko wena o le mojita hae o tla ba pushitse ko wena
re bolela ko nthong e leng gore re bolela ke maeli gore wena gona bjanong o ka no kry-a e le gore o bolela le o mongwe o tsha mo compara between wena le ena gore dilo tsa ye di pala kgono
go
jempela
tlile bjang gore a bolele le o mongwe
mare banna ke ba bantši Lennox gape on average
besides
mosadi-
eo Sfuba o mo file lebaka la gore a nyake
Ah,
a fe
eh,
monno
oh,
mong attention Ke a o
Lennox,
trying.
e re ko bontshe ka di-statistics tse simple on average maybe mosadi a ka no ba feria ke basadi ke banna ba ba 7
ka
ka
letsatsi
letsatsi
per minute.
now wait now this is 7 times let's round it off to 7. It's not the accurate numbers but I'm just saying 7 ke 7 times 7
wena Lennox ba gcina ufasaneng
which is 49. Now we're taking 49
times 4
Lennox o nyompotsa gore kamara number e kana braya ka ona monna o phala wa ithata wa ithata
so okay so if that's how it is why Lisa sana lo wena no
o choose go ba le nna it's her choice
Can I answer
and
you?
e ra gore thy choice
simple
bon
Can I answer you?
before Batul tsa thy choice e ra gore nna tshwantse ke treat o tshwana le span
He o re ke
span
choice.
sela every day ke a sira
Ke
tsatsi le lengwe ke
dumelana
a
le
kubiwa
wena. It's by choice
Lennox, musadi azanka abupiwa ana le lerato. Azanki.
yeah
Musadi azanka bupiwa ana le lerato.
Yeah, but
she's there to receive
Wait,
No.
Wait, let me elaborate my story.
okay
Ubupilwe ana le tolerance.
Kotlel
Exactly. What this is. Monna ubupilwe ana le lerato. I'll explain to you. I'll give you one or two examples. How many men single ubereka unyale msada na le bana ba 3 asa bereki.
ga ke ba bapaya
Bye. How many women asna ngwana lo mo 1 akre monna na le bana ba 3 asa bereki a dumelo monyana.
o ka nyeng
Evan
tolerance
I rest my case.
yeah
so
and
Kotlel.
going back to that ne
Ki tolerance.
So but then when
Oh, sorry.
khotlhello e ya basadi ge ka mo go ba build leng gore ba nne le khotlhello ge e fitlhile go bofelong e tla be e ditswe keng
Ko wena mo.
a sa nyaka ke re wa
ke mojita nke
Ya ko wena mo.
so nna ke ntho e ke no batlo bua ka yona gore ge mosadi a etsa something e better ko wena ke retaliation e tle bo o mo editseng yona wena
a se
O le mojita.
nna ke feelang ka re ke nature
nature
utlwella
mofeng chance
utlwella mfeng
a
chance
re utlwe scientist ya mmoho
let me cook
cook chomi
yeah no as ke re ke a bala ke bala dibukanyana researcher that's why no ke na le speaker
yeah
for start
wa ntshwara
Yeah.
ne? I feel like basari ba ba gafisa ke rena ne because when you sleep with the women ne DNA ya rena ka nama ho robala lena ka nama DNA ya rena e sala go bona for 6 weeks
okay
ne ho iralang he banna ba bangwe ba robala le ena
ke re 6 weeks
ne in that 6 weeks banna ba bangwe di DNA tsa lena di a kopana anga se ga fete kente no
technically you're right
yeah utlwela
no technically you're right
yeah I know I'm right ask re ke bala no Sdomane
ai fara ka tabe ya bala ke rata betamo bala chomi ai no you coming
this is science going back to the thing ya how ya culturally horonya la motho culturally this is natural as well mosadi ho nka mo fa ngwana DNA ela ya how it stays forever
in her
yeah
Okay.
Kona le celebrity ngwe bilansa la e bolela o la o no kanyana Tiffany Haddish o la ratang ke Kevin Hart I think sa la e bolela dideng ya hore ho nka fa mosadi ngwana DNA la e sala forever a o tlale a be le ngwana o mongwe le motho o lo mongwe it stays forever DNA bana ba ba 3 ke di DNA tse 3 tsotlhe di tsena ka mara spinal cord di tsena ka mara ngqondo ha fela daigent.
So horaro o hafela moving, not the first one, but wena wa mafelo.
Naturally,
by the time
whether
you see the third
hafela-
one, it means the first 2 was fine.
yeah, o tlo noka wabo because o sharakana nge di DNA tsa ha slangu sa ha emakhatho eng
Malachi.
yes yes
Wanye,
yes
ke manyekenyo.
yeah so there's only so much that tradition le culture can do mara naturally it's not allowed. I feel like now women should only sleep with one person for the safety of your mentality.
When are you saying arobalele motho mo one he go fele a cleanse a be sharp a tswele pele?
Asa tswela pele
What
because
is that?
hanga tswela pele hanga tsentsha DNA within a system oh no kacho
No.
And then happy wa bona e culture ya tradition a kere tshwanetse a ba boele ba tlhabela madis 2. What if ba stubborn?
Then it means they stay like that. And there's people who are stubborn.
Bastakile kamko.
Yeah, what's that level too?
Cause to come to think of it, I don't believe ba tlo dumela because hape ho tlhala wa bona kala ke sa bolele ka di translations go tlhala lu divorce nna ke ra sentho e one.
Hey, Marken to bra tools na ibolela.
Yeah, go tlhala le ho divorce ke he o le married in a white wedding. Go tlhala le girlfriend wa e tlhala a e bereke ka wife fela. Le mpia ya hao sa tlhole binya ka wa e tlhala re mpia kwa wa e raha dikhopotse ke nnete mara ka mo le tshaba nnete ba ke like go tlhala selo se o sa tlhole o se nyaka mo khaufi le wena wa se tlhala ke irregardless or ke mosadi or ke mara divorce particularly ke eng ka spedi or yeah when we itse polelwa go yone thata ka stebele ke mo divorce
I think, man.
I think it's because you remember it was taboo. It was taboo. It was something when we speak culturally and traditionally and like hey, yeah, you know you tara. You aona ntwe ngwe ba ka e bolelang ka direng no ne difficult kana kwa di khoshi di eng gore ba re o to fitla wa re wena nna ke sa monyaka.
It's my Ellie. It's still taboo, and I'll explain to you why. It's just that in the modern way they put it abruptly. Why is it that if divorce is not taboo, a bunch of women would sit at a table and advise this particular woman to divorce Bratuls? 3 months later, they would scan her about her and say,
Really high.
so it means everybody around here knows that it's taboo, but they are perpetuating her to go through with the taboo so that they can look at her as a failure. That's the type of a nation that we're in right now. We thrive on people failing. So that we reconcile if I was to come to you as my friends Karchens Lisa Unyukunta, Babutlur Achu Marsuba, Aunantokai, Happy Julisa Quarina. Nah, no, it goes there. One one. I think I can't come to you, just Lisa Wanyela, some Yagamatili Tobo half away. Ardomeala, Overlego Lisa looks Luta. Majita come curly. Women don't play that game, dog. One one. Yes, if it's an abusive man, I understand it if they would come and say, Muta. You understand? Because this man is physically abusive and ulaya at the end of the day. But how na munasa flopping manavamme? I think
it goes back to the question I asked earlier on. 80%, if not 90%, any divorce is caused by infidelity. Okay?
yes.
Now my question is monogamy possible?
Yeah.
It is. It's a choice again.
Repeat,
Repeat, Brad.
is monogamy possible?
Sdomane, it is.
Azange yaba possible gobaning. Monogamy.
It is possible, Bruak.
It is.
It is possible.
Udlule statement sake spolizing no. We are allowed to spread our
Who the fuck said you are allowed?
Why the problem le schema na ga dadengela re nna ke clever o ke clever o ke bari o ke clever o ke clever
Why is it?
go na le Majita mang a phela bo di kreke le na problem a le so explore phela le Majita ke o botse ke rona
I'll get to your point. I hear where you're going. I'll hear where you're going.
Sdomane.
Let me cook.
Cook mfana.
wa bona botebedi
Ape.
I'll get to your point.
Ape aga 3 foot mfana.
Remember I said we are a generation that that is very quick to tap out.
Yeah.
Ne? Kale. Kamuntu. Omu nathiwa makuwa omu.
True.
Again. Sfuba. Bonta te muholo arena. Lo malomare na vale. Batlantse bana le bana kontle.
Yeah.
Right? But that thing would never be known in a community.
True.
To a point whereby no koro grabare ntate mola how who this is ngwana ntato mo.
Yeah.
Right? But why never thiwa na makuwa. Okay? That goes to a point whereby it proves that my question, whole monogamy has never been there.
Okay.
It has never been there.
Yes.
It's something we are introducing into this new generation.
I introduce again
reintroducing.
I introduce again nazanga introduce monogamy once again itlile ga dikepe monogamy
Mara wa yemel.
aki yemel nna ungukwelle
It's right because our culture has always been about polygamy. But when the Western culture came,
hence
the
na
Bible said monogamy. But here's the funny thing about the Bible.
The Bible never mentioned monogamy. There was Solomon with 700 wives and what concubines.
Yes, that I understand. But now, when you get married now, they made it what? A holy matrimony. And then after that, I don't like pitching religion in our show. And then after that, they turned around and said, Maramo ukari Solomon so. So that's why I say, the reason why I don't like talking about religion on our show is because the Bible sometimes contradicts itself.
Yeah, it can contradict itself as much as it does, but show me one verse where they say you need to divorce somebody.
It isn't there because apparently according to Christianity, divorce is a sin. It's a sin. When that's why in culturally it was taboo, but religiously it was a sin.
Yeah, culturally it was straightforward. I get it, but I'm what you say it's a package. Barashik, your package. This is your package. Take care of it. You together, and then you build, and then tomorrow we meet again. True. Unlike now, no Sfuba, Ugurali Lisa Shulo Chabela Heidi 17 or 11, wash ya. What hey, hacks, we are guy. How put this? Over time you tell them what I had on my Ombra Shu what Ombra Shulika Lennox. Go. Ukalet. Urahara Hari David. Cho, outside in the car never moves about them to remember work I have. How well,
yeah, but I was a number.
Well, I go look at it as a how. And a funny part, Motu, at Utuha from Honago Koha how. Achabele high. Mara here Talonyagan Quilla Ibea high. You're not achieving go on.
Yeah. So now a lot of people might even saying that we're condoning that violent men must be violent to certain women that run away from those houses and go home. Because bar twanzu bueleta babambar le nyalo ngwa khotlelwa Babamba, you understand? Like this, guys. There's a lot of dynamics to marriage. Ontwar. It's just you must use the formula that works for you. I don't think there's anyone that's got a manual for marriage. I don't think we can be at a position where we judge someone that has been in a marriage and now is divorced. I personally wouldn't want to wish it on my worst enemy. You understand?
Yeah.
Not personal. I just don't think it is a nice thing for any man to lose his wife, his kids, everything that they have because of a piece of paper that said that.
And I really.
Now I have a question
mentioned this magic word. When it comes to people that I have encountered with who were speaking of divorce, most of the element that they used was that there are kids involved.
Yeah.
Which is something that we don't touch mostly because the behavior of some kids, people will tell you that this behavior is from a kid that experienced divorce and the hardships of divorce, and they don't know what to do because there isn't, like something that you have just alluded to, the fact that these kids might be not knowledgeable about a lot of stuff because we keep secrets. Like we don't tell them that we have divorced. We try to pretend that we are still fine whenever we are around them. And these kids, you think that they are blind, but they can see that these people do not see eye to eye.
This is a facade.
Yeah, they can see that. Oh no.
Elias mo pratulane hore divorce e affecta byang bana.
It mess up our a lot. Because we as black people, we don't believe in psychologists and stuff like that. And stand to like, hey,
Yeah.
you understand? Whatever that is happening, come on through, we don't discuss Libana. And this thing end up it affect us psychologically. Because of that, the frustration that he has at home. So it's best as parents, before we even think of divorce, we need to sit down with our kids. Either we take them for counseling, we explain the situation, even though that we are no longer going to stay in one roof. We are still your parents, we still love you. So that kids, they understand. Because divorce is messy.
Yeah, divorce is messy.
It's messy. It's messy in a sense, your once loved person becomes your enemy. And once you deal with the enemy, you become a devil. And being a devil, you reach a point of no return. So we need to understand, whatever that we do, action that we do, it will only come back to our kids.
Yeah, I hear you, Grootman, but could the divorce be messy if I'm at a point where, let's say maybe as far, but I look at things from a man's point of view and I say, I could never take better care of my kids than her. So I say, let me walk away. At least I'm guaranteed one thing. They've got a roof over their head. Their father is not going to be there.
I get it, that one is the end part.
Yes.
Of which you've already divorced, you've took a decision or of which it happens a lot of the time. So now what happens in the process, yeah, divorce, whereby now we are starting to deal with it. And a divorce as an agreement between the two people at the Naksanyak.
Yeah.
Verbally can be so. Emotionally, psychologically, one
There's
partner,
someone that doesn't
one
want
partner,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
Naturally.
And that's true.
If Musadi war aksobat, doesn't necessarily mean or aksorat. Maybe you could shake or wake up because of we're now busy, and then you think, you know what, let's do that. And then for pride, you're high, not okay, fine, let's do it. But after a year or so,
Wait all.
look, now it's all.
So Tux, I've had a guy putsa hore Okay, he went through a divorce. Are kinali another woman now. But the problem is I'm still encountering it now. So the common denominator mugwen.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Ever looked into
Our
the
blamer.
devil our Jew? Marana king is Ari.
O tshwana le o.
Ari.
Wa mmona o. Ke nyoko o botsa ka o. O jola psycho fela o. Ha re motho mo
Are bona basadi ba ba tshwana.
Say that man.
Mathata ne ke na lona kwa.
O mo wane ka tsona mologolotse a re e tla mo. Next week ya palla go tla
Humphrey.
ba bolela ga re.
Humphrey.
Sfuba, ako botse
Can't borrow,
another. What's in that katlageng, ne? You've been present throughout
In all the OD.
all
That's
those
why I know.
psychotic episodes. So what do I do? E irang banyana hore ba mpete.
Ba botle ba o betha.
Mutu kambe msuku cho. Mutu kambe
The
msuku.
common denominator is you. We're talking about it mathematically. When something is 3/4 and 6/4 and 12/4.
You
What's
win.
the common denominator? 4. So you are the 4. It means when unless you change your ways with this 6 and 12 and what?
One tlhalohanya bro.
Ahuna Korea.
But this goes back to what I was saying in the first place, Gore. DNA,
Mara, then again, I'm going to play, man. I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
You can never know ukuthi umuntu yokuhlanyela phambili.
The one thing that I
You-
can
you
tell
can't
you,
determine that.
Sfuba, is that
Yeah?
Ihlanya.
Amarange kulibone first check.
Ihlanya lebona.
Phela ihlanya liza kahle. Let me tell you what my father once said to me.
Arro wa le bona. Why u gena o le nyala le hlanya?
No. Let me tell you what my father said to me.
I get really desperate
My,
at times.
my father once said to me, Pratools, ne, Ati, if the devil came as the devil, you wouldn't make a deal with him.
Yeah.
Because you would know that this is the devil. So, umuntu kwazi ukuza kahle mara ihlanya. Uyohlanya le game say hamba ku 90 minutes. And esongena pitch so washata
We should be a pretender.
mari pretend name.
So ba fethu
Mara de bo fura keng Sfu.
Yeah?
O fura kae?
Maeli, hape, as much as we don't want to admit this, hona le basadi ba bangwe ba campaigner Brian. And never dare se ka o campaign.
Isemba sa yamba campaign. What campaign you mo fatsi?
Sdomane, you can't generalize. That would be wrong.
I'm not general. I never said women campaign. I said what campaign you? Men.
Oh, fine. Oh, yeah. Lo ena o le mojita
Bo
wa
ba tseno go
campaign.
tshwere.
Fine, fair enough.
Ka tseno a zanga go tshwara pila Sdomane ka tseno. Mara mo go tshwere o bolela ga.
So, kireng ke felletse hore ko fetša.
Na ka itshwara, a elaborate.
Oh, but elaborate
Okay.
further.
Okay, sure.
Elaborate further.
Campaigning is when somebody pretends that what they are not. Bonsoir.
Okay.
For the sake of that time, for you to give you an impression that this is the right person for me. Bonsoir. A person that is campaigning would go to the movies even if they don't like the movies. Because you said you like the movies.
That's true.
That is a person that is campaigning. But a straightforward person will tell you, I do the movie Nasen Twak. If I do it because I'm pleasing you.
Yeah.
And you would know.
Sfuba ke tse ba loser di etsang because basadi ba rona ba di rata.
And then na di rata. Wa ntshwara Brian.
We do it because we love them.
Yes.
We want to re ba utlisa ba feel sharp.
Ora wena o ka tloa mo ya go Duxon Flick.
Man.
Rena re le makutumela bana.
Fiela defend taba.
A ke di fiel ke ra re yena ha ya Brian ka nna ko zula ya hinwang ta.
Yeah.
A ke fiel.
Because o lo gozumela and o nya go re Lisa be happy. If Lisa o batla re Duxon Flick, we go to Duxon Flick.
Mar ke mo file tao ya o ya Duxon Flick. Then tshwantse re buse tao e la ka re ka boshiu. Lisa ta ba putso
Ke brother sacrifice him.
wa e bona.
Mara Lisa
Relationship
le mo
ke
mention ka
sacrifice.
tseno. Lo mo fa bokae? Lo mo fa bokae?
Emanya, relationship mfethu ke sacrifice. Whether you like it or not.
Thank you.
One
Thank you,
time.
Brother Len. You know what? I love it. I love it for you. And I
One
love
lover.
it. I love it.
Hey, that bro.
I love it.
E jona re betha ke da.
Ke nyako beta quote of the year.
Eba.
Ashu. And that's what we say about.
Yeah.
Background song o keng no?
Tilin talang. Relationship itwana le nyaope smoker. Hore be des tshwantse tshwana le a nyaope and a nyaope smoker. You need to be addicted to each other. Like for real, dog. Like let that be an addiction, because there are many that die out of that addiction without even quitting. Imagine somebody, that's what I believe. That on the day, ke addicted to them to a point. They can addicted to nyaope. Why I say that? Hampani buana ke motube kutlwe mnate ke nne so ke ra ke motsubile motho wa ga understand acho
Hasteng o crack.
Hasteng ke crack. You know why? Kore ha ke crack ke nyomonyaka ke boele ko yena. That's what's happening in life. So the minute re thoma banong re tlobalana nna ke botsa batho every day ke nna ke hana taba ya gore banna re tlobalana le basadi ke bona ile matepenyana re puntse re bale gore nna wa itse nna mosadi ola ke mo apietse mabane nna mosadi ola eng though I will never wash a bloomers mara ke bolela nne like now I'm a realist. I do believe that if we become real with ourselves really too sure.
I'm the one that throwing the spanner in the works like you always do. You can be addicted to someone, but that someone is not addicted to you.
So it must be a
More
two-way.
problem, the feeling must be
That's
mutual.
why I am saying, you know what happens with the nyopes. That's
Yeah.
where you don't get
The
it.
red flaggy thing.
A nyopes is a nyopes. They're looking for the fix, and that fix is within them. Though I'm not saying this should be a bad thing. You know, I get to learn to run. Happen na kola wa di metaphor. Wait for proper ibang sfu. On twara he premier mara ma
No, all I'm saying is, and I'm elaborating to what you are saying. The drug game works with supply and demand. Again, you are being supplied something because you demand it. Again, now let's derive it to love. Now, one to one. That's why now people who are religious would tell you, "Hore, musadi ana le rato mara musadi una le tlhompho wena in exchange o tshwantse o mo rate." I don't know if that theory is right. I'm not.
It's
I'm
not
not
right.
100%.
Mara-
Nagere 100%.
100%.
Fine and well.
60%.
But what I'm saying now is now the supply and demand works like this. You are being supplied love. In exchange, you would supply the love back. Again, if we're talking addiction here, it means there's both supply and demand that is being met right at the middle. Error musari ole na hanyo ko supply wa mu supply. Error le na honyo ko supply wa mu supply. Again, sharp. Now the supply is going good because now when we've got too much of the supply, we don't need the demand again. Nor will we talk about it because we are supplying one another. Now, the supply gets finished. This is where we get to where people are saying, when two bulls fight, it's the grass that suffers. You understand? When the supply gets finished, there's ego. There's hatred. There's kalegu kotelate. Supply is get demand. And a demand from both sides. Luena uri happy antatwait unkwela masip ibile last ke mona chetal ana boynya no mo why what
Sfuba ra compromise mula re krapa plus
ake ha
Slow motion.
Maeli, I put this metaphoric just like you want it, but you still don't get it. Today you're the one that doesn't get the metaphor.
No.
My education is against progress.
I'm not against progress.
Yeah.
I'm not against progress. I'm for being rare.
And
living in-
ibile ka ba dorve.
Yeah, di camera di magadi one not to alert.
Di camera di timari wan. Na go one fella moto jota. Wa bona nna jo.
Maeli wena ke o tutwela ke moya. Ni camera di fela di battery me prime manyana. Ustuman conclude mo.
Sdomane.
Conclude.
Hatso ga gate ko meta judo jo.
O practice judo guy.
Ke yena mpimpi.
Okay, it's fine.
Kalo Jimmy lejo.
It's what it is. It's what it is. Mara, let's be realistic, ne? We need to start understanding the concept behind marriage. Ne? We need to understand the concept behind marriage. For this thing is not for fun. And love on its own will never hold a marriage. So, we are there to balance each other. We are there to cover each other's faults. Let's start taking ourselves serious. We can't be. Now we are seeing this generation, seeing we are. I don't think would anyone from the previous generation want to be in this generation because we are very quick to say, "Mina, I'm out." We are very quick to judge the other person. We are very quick to count what the other person has done. We do not understand how these things moves. We get into a marriage to help each other. Not hoballa na hor enki. Waban. So, arts will be good relation.
Conclude wena mfana yakubulala le jini namhlanje.
Hayi jini ngiyenzela amasimba.
Ngiyabona.
Mina ayise
Ungashiya isihlahla nophuma la.
Ngathakazanga ngemoto uvarile. Uze ngemoto. Iyo nkosi yami.
And we phake
anginamoto ningajela abantu.
ke yena phakile o lebele kolo ya hae phakile different to ya batho ba ba.
Yona fela yona fela.
Let's go anywhere.
Everybody's parked this way. Free this way. Conclude I'm gonna
And when ngena la sober. Those are sober actions.
Yo.
But in any case, mina I support divorce.
Asvarle jini angisayifuni.
Yeah, let me tell you why. It's good for the kids.
You mad you.
You know why? Angisho ngifunda incwadi manje ngizona explain. Yeah. So when a child is in a happily married family, ne, thola ma benefits like guy one. So when you divorce, uthola ngapha, megaliwa ngapha, uza ngapha. It's good for the child.
But then you're raising a manipulative child.
No, besides that, ne, if I don't bullying, a child must be bullied because they must know that this world is a very
Now I know you're
That one is too strong. Guys, when you get married, firstly, you need to know what you want. Ne? And secondly, now my ancestors I'm marrying this woman. Firstly, you need to ask them for the type of woman that you want. If you want a woman, be specific. Now, be specific. If you be specific. So that when you get married, you know exactly what you get. Than to ask for something and then you tell her something else. You want a wife, but you don't be specific of what kind of wife do I want. Now, kuluma. Now, kuluma. So that you know whatever that you get, chances of you looking elsewhere or being like deceived out there, they'll be slim. Because now na yonke into na endlini. you're the happiest man. Sebo.
Conclude, Amail.
Eh? Le guy in that is fool. Saks. Yeah.
Oh, eh.
Sorry, why is it now? This is memorable. Wawana natsatsi le ke nyalang. Ke le invite le heletla. Le tsura hai. Ke make sure. Because in the next 5 years I might die.
So
I might be gone. Na he ke nyala ko nyala motho a mfeletsang dibitleng.
Eba. Eh?
Ke setse ka last bag ya nyala.
Maili tswala zama.
I'm kidding. Amarajo, like, I do believe, my belief is that in marriage, Abana, if ever this person cannot be my friend, from the word go, it's a problem. Because later jita is jita. Koma jiteng, lehemu jita laka fapana kan tuwan, laka pala gui lugisa. Korara aga kopana le mujita. Rapal lagu lugisa tabar mabane riluku kai. Ha wajukan tu beri gile biya. Ana brafan mesele rarese sega sekrete sesuan. Kas tuwa kem tologisa. Ang kwatela masipa. An safel an ruha magogo karkan why mutagola na uru. Nagalibes kya tola kwa kids nakakalalela. Mutagola ultimate. But if somebody like what if somebody asa kono tlhalo hanya Lennox go botsa ka ntho ngwe sempo if mosadi a ka palla go tshwara sephinya sa ka mo dikobong o mo mathateng kara ha tshwara hora ro itse hore ai re tsamatsele one.
Thank you.
Hora rona le masepa
ene bana ba phinya thata ke
yeah and jo ka botsa o ka tukwa ngwaya barking manual asangal o itse di o se kwa go ke mosadi a ga
o fela o gona mola le mo
o ntse re tle o jameno a le busy le wena o go mosadi a ga and zvar le boletse nnete wa bona problem sometimes re overrate la rato wa ntshwara mara go botsa ka luck ela ya hore ba re mosadi o rata wena go phala yena la ke luck ntang o sa tlhala ga yona wa bona ga e kry eo
mosadi o na le lerato
eng yo bono kra mosadi a rata a ga oketsa di-lens tsa di breletseng
Tsamaye.
petha ga lens eo le kana le Mpho
Ar tsamaye mai.
O shapo buruaka.
Motse o tlise.
Thank you.
Ene wena le wena o tlo la side ka re ba fela ba o phabula wena le wena isvara. Tshwara microphone o ka ba le matla ba ka ro palla go tshwara microphone. Bona a ke re wa bona.
Mata tsena ka ibumbere go nkata.
Conclude.
Motse le wa o tago.
o tai
Bon. Na.
Conclude tsamaye lady man.
Ba fethu. Ke sho o tsene go lenyalong because o bona hore wena le motho le ka ba sharp. Le ka ha lelapa la ba sharp. I'm sure if o ka etsagala phoso sa re tsa diphoso ba botle ba fethu. A teng motho mo perfect. Ke sho mara phoso ha ile teng re ka nna fatshe ra e boledisa mola le mola ya go bologa ba sharp. Flopo ke assumption. Ha re ga o phela wa zoomile gore hai ka je go tla itse mosedi le ke go Majita mande go bua ka one wa zoom wa bua le next week ke Friday re Majita mande ba biditse kai ya zoom ro tla ba sharp gore go fitla ka 2 on tswara but into important ke communication wa itse re assume how we kata you are making an S out of you and me assume so are cutting go azuma let's talk about things bafethu re rataneng re godiseng bana bophelo bo tswele pele asibonge
gami be
Ai,
the gami
advocate ya basadi.
Ivan, Mark,
Ah,
you
yeah.
will listen to Kabasat.
Wa bantu itaile.
Are,
Kere gami berga flavor Coca-Cola.
and Twitter, you don't tell a mic.
Hamri,
So, la brua, carry high.
I'd like to say sorry to the guys that felt they've failed in their marriage. I'd like to say we apologize to women that have tried so much. I'd like to mostly apologize to the children that have been affected by their parents separating and having to live that life where the parents don't pitch up for certain things because they are not united. For the faults that they actually were never part of, but were affected by it. I'd like to apologize to those children and say, I hope you find peace. I hope you find deliverance. And I also hope that you realize that you were not raised in a family-orientated place where people took different decisions, but maybe you can do better. Wantwara. Arnengeng jo. And arnengisaneng vie. Wantwara. Lenyo go bolela hape ka re ke a litse go re ke re ke tswalla la busy.
Abare keep ba leke ba subscribe ba re mo bo.
A o bolele selo ke Majita Mandeke le Forstana Blind. Ax makutso mo.